Kingdom Come Deliverance and its upcoming sequel have made a very special section of the gaming community angry and upset for years and years now. And the reason for that, it's pretty simple. It's basically because these games are great, they're fun RPGs, but they don't try and shove DEI propaganda down your throat. Because it's not being used, the games aren't being used as some sort of vehicle for left-wing propaganda. They're evil, they're bad, and we shouldn't be playing them. This has also come to a bit of a head recently as well, because these people, you know, the sorts of ones that I'm talking about, they're not just angry that Kingdom Come exists, they're upset because the games are popular. There's plenty of people who've wishlisted Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, millions and millions of people. They loved the first games. Very popular. People want more of them. And what we don't want more of is more of these games that these crazy loons tell us that we should want, that all modern gamers should want. The Concords, the Flintlocks, the Dustborns, the Sweet Baby Inc. games, and so on. For years and years, these people have been parroting, they've been yelling out, shouting from the rooftops that we're dinosaurs, we're old boomers who don't understand what the modern gamer is really going to want. They don't want modern action heroes in their games, Solid Snake, Rambos, Arnold Schwarzenegger type characters. They don't want beautiful women, anything like that. No, they want pink-haired librarians as the protagonist if they're people of color. Even better. They told us that's what everyone wants now. They kept saying it, and now we're at the point where we're seeing the fruits of their labor. The people who are making these games, who told us they know what the gamers really want, those games have now started to release, again, Concord, Dustborn, and so on. They've come out, and gamers are now responding. We've seen these games for what they are. They're awful. They're terrible. The games themselves suck. Even better though, even more interesting, is that they've been absolute commercial flops. One after the other, all these games that were very obviously conceived with DEI as the first priority. You know, when they sat down to make these games, it was a big checklist of ticking off the DEI stuff. The actual game, the mechanics, who's going to have fun with it, that a very distant second. Don't worry so much about that. It was all the DEI stuff. It's got to be a machine. It's got to be a vehicle for pushing propaganda. That was the focus. Apparently, this was going to make gaming better. They've been flops. And unless more DEI funding comes in, a lot of these studios who made them are going to close. So people are very, very angry with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 because they're fun games that people love, they're successes. And the opposite of that, the games that are focused on modern-day politics, they're all failing. So it's upsetting people. The fun games are winning, commercially successful. You think of Black Myth Wukong, another one recently. And it's not like they're the opposite where, like, they're pushing right-wing politics versus the left-wing politics. It's not that. It's just there's fun games that aren't focused on politics, and then there's the games where, like, everything about them, DEI, it's all pushing diversity stuff. So that's the difference. We just want fun games. And you could still have politics in the game if it makes sense. Like, Kingdom Come is historically accurate, so there's probably some internal politics within the universe, but that's what we want. We only want that sort of stuff if it's actually supporting the game world, it's supporting fun for the player. That's what should come first. Gamers have now responded. We don't want your garbage. And again, it's upset a lot of people, and I've decided to rot my brain just a little further by coming back to Reset Era, the Purple Forum, and they had a thread here that I thought would be pretty harmless. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's script has over 2.2 million words, potentially making it the longest video game script ever written. Now, I don't necessarily think that's the best thing ever. I mean, we've seen time and time again this quantity over quality problem. Every single time I think about it, I get post-traumatic Starfield disorder. But seeing this, I thought, yeah, this could create some interesting discussion. Are people going to be leaving comments, discussing, maybe does this mean there's a lot of choice making in the game, and that's why the script is so long. There's so many different branching paths that you can go down. Maybe it also means that, like, every NPC, or most of them, have something interesting to say. They don't sort of feel like robots who just repeat the same lines, arrow to the knee over and over again, that sort of thing. But sadly, that is not the case. And again, I should have reminded myself that these sorts of people, they hate this game. They hate the sequel. They hate the first one. It's grinding their gears. They're extra upset because all the games that they pretended to love the Dustborns and so on. They said those are the games we should be getting. They've all flopped. I find it extra funny because no one bought them. It's not like only their niche bought them and no one else. Like, no one bought them, including these people. They pretended to care about the Concords and the Dustborns, but the truth is they only cared and talked positively about them because they were pushing their political agendas in 2024. They were sort of pushing their movements forward, and then when the games actually came out, they no longer became useful. It's like, no, I don't want to sit down and play this terrible game. It doesn't look fun at all. I couldn't give a toss about it. I was just pretending to care about it so I could virtue signal my real-life political beliefs. That's really it, and that's why the games have sold double digits, maybe triple some of the ones that did a bit better than others, but didn't do very well at all. And the comments here, we'll start with the original post where the article is shared, the harmless article, and then he's put an edit in because he got a lot of backlash for sharing some content about an upcoming RPG, and he says, "For your information, for those like myself who've been previously unaware, lead Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 and 2 director Daniel Vovra is a racist pro-Gamergate bigot and has been supported in interviews and articles by such right-wing outlets as Breitbart." Now, I've got to say, Daniel Vovra, the director, most of the controversy surrounding him, I call it controversy, it shouldn't be. If these clowns are allowed to be outwardly political on their side, Daniel Vovra should be allowed to as well. But sadly for him, I don't blame him, but I can understand in the current climate, he's actually toned down a lot of his political stuff on X. He used to tweet out some of his political opinions, really controversial stuff by saying he's not a fan of communism and he lives in a country that used to have communism. It was very, very bad. He dared to criticize that. That apparently makes him a controversial figure. But all this stuff, it was like 5-6 years ago. He hasn't said a whole lot since. These people still have a chip on their shoulder. They can't let it go. And what Daniel should realize, because occasionally I see a murmur of like maybe Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it might have some DEI stuff thrown in there. We simply don't know. I hope that's not the case. Some people have suggested maybe. I just hope, for Daniel's sake, the studio's sake, they realize if you pander to these morons, you will get nothing. They will still hate you just as much. In fact, they'll attack you more because they'll realize it's working, and then you might do more and you'll just corrupt your own game and they'll be like all these other ones that I've been talking about, and you'll just alienate the people who were drawn to the series in the first place. All they need to do, all Daniel needs to do is stick to the original vision, which is making an historically accurate game. And I believe they're going to do that. I think it's sort of doomer to suggest, oh, they're going to abandon it, it's all going to be DEI. I don't think so. The studio's delivered so far. Until I see otherwise, I'm going to trust them with that. And if we go back to what people are saying, very little discussion about the RPG itself, about the 2 million words in the script. Instead, it's things like, we're just posting tweets from bigots now. Damn, I thought it would only have 14 words, and I was confused. I had to look that up. Apparently, 14 words is something to do with white supremacy. Not that anyone, sort of regular people, would know what that means, but no, apparently the game itself, white supremacy. If you're historically accurate, if you care about historically accurate, you're a white supremacist. That's what it means. Doesn't matter that if you made a game set in Africa with only people of color, that would be totally fine. If you put a white person in there, that would be evil, but in this case, you cannot be historically accurate. And then there's this one. Even the game itself is made by a bigot director. Era is in a really weird spot regarding this issue, to be honest, and what he's referring to is how many games that this forum has banned outright from being discussed. I think one of the major first ones was Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk, apparently it's transphobic. Doesn't matter that I can't think of one time in the game that there's anything remotely anti-trans. I think there's even a trans racing car driver, that one Claire or something, who you do the races with. So it supports trans people, it seems like. But no, it doesn't matter if they do like 15 different things to appease these people, to suck up to them. They put one foot wrong. So now they're banned, they're evil, they're long gone. Then obviously, Hogwarts Legacy. Even though that game itself, there was plenty of DEI stuff in Hogwarts Legacy. It seems like the developers were really sucking up. They were desperate to get the approval of these people. Doesn't matter because the author of the source material, she's a phobe. apparently. So, ban, you can't even talk about it. So these people are upset because Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 hasn't been outright banned from discussion. They won't rest until that happens. Probably will. The fortunate thing is, every single one of their boycotts fails miserably. You almost welcome it, because every time you can laugh at them. They try the boycott, it doesn't work, and then when there's like a Bud Light and it does work, they get even more red in the face, like a tomato. The meltdowns are never ending. I mean, the whole game is created by a giant bigot, this person says. And then OP, who made the thread about the article, oh, perhaps I should have researched about it a bit more then. I just found the word count stat in isolation interesting, if slightly suspicious. Why is it suspicious? Now, all this stuff seems to have corrupted you. The propaganda's got to you. Now, something suspicious must be going on. But don't worry, OP's apologized. He won't make this mistake again, trying to talk about a upcoming popular RPG. And then someone says, this game is not exactly banned in here, but the topics surrounding the game have always been weird to me. It's allowed, but not really. Just mind your words. This is where you get into sort of creepy, culty sort of territory, where it's like, there's not a rule that it's banned, but you should just understand, like, the politics and what's going on. We're not going to say it outright, but you need to understand, or you're going to be shunned. Unspoken rules. 2 + 2 = 5, you just need to know it. And clearly this guy's got his priorities straight. I'm glad this thread kicked off on the Vovra is a piece of work dialogue immediately, because these threads tend to go two separate ways at the same time. People feeling insane, because he is clearly a bigot, and people seemingly fully ignoring that. Aha, so what you mean is there's insane people, and then there's regular normal people who just want to discuss the game. I know what camp most people here fall into, but everywhere else, everyone else enjoying the game, they're in that second camp where they're just happy to play it, happy to enjoy it. Written all in white ink on white pages. 2 million words about why there's only white dudes in the game. Actually, you could sum that up in about 20 words, which would be, it's a historically accurate game, and it's set in Europe in a certain time period. That's literally it. There should be no other explanation needed. They shouldn't have to excuse it or anything to you. And it's not like they just decided, we just want white people in the game, that's it, that's our interpretation. They actually consulted historical experts who said it would be ridiculous, it'd make no sense for there to be people of color in the game. Now, these people would probably have a response of, no, there was one expert somewhere who's actually a crackpot activist. He said that a person of color could have swam across the ocean and got into those countries, therefore it's racist that there's not people of color in there. But you can say that, but really it's just another case of, if you don't like it, don't buy the game. That's what we did with Concord and Dustborn. We played by those rules, and then you got upset because no one bought the game, whereas in Kingdom Come's case, it's a successful game whether you buy it or not, because you're in a tiny minority of mentally ill people. No one cares about you. That's the end result. Good games will sell. Anything else, no one wants it. There was this Reddit post the other day as well, and surprise, surprise, it's along the same lines. It reads, Gamergate and Kingdom Come Deliverance. Hi, sorry if this sounds dumb. Thanks for warning us. But is anyone else kind of worried over the Gamergate connection and Kingdom Come Deliverance? I want to support this game as I love medieval history. Loves medieval history, apparently. But I also like diversity, feminism, etc., and paying money for a game by at least one bigoted man, that Vovra fellow, seems like a betrayal of my values. Anyone understand? I see, so you're a lover of medieval history, but then you don't care at all about medieval history. You're happy to chuck all of that out the window for diversity and modern-day feminism. Yes, indeed. Clearly you care about the integrity of your history that you're so interested in. I can understand the conundrum. Fortunately, there's actually sanity in the first comment, which is pretty rare for Reddit. Someone says, if you can't separate art from the artist, nothing you can do. The game will be historically accurate, if the first is anything to go by, and it's set in Prague by people who live in Prague, from the region, know the history. If you're upset by a perceived lack of diversity in 1400s Holy Roman Empire, then that's your choice. Don't buy the game. And I just want to end with a bit of shilling, unpaid shilling, of Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. If you haven't played it, it's currently discounted on Steam, 90% off. You can buy the whole base game for $4.50 in Australian currency. It's probably half that in the US. For another $1 or more, you get all of the DLC as well. So great deal if you plan to play it before the sequel comes out. Highly recommend it. Great open world RPG with realistic medieval mechanics rather than sort of sword and sorcery fantasy like in Skyrim or something. It's great, and here on Reset Era, someone posted that deal and said, hey, historical low for this great game, the cheapest you're ever going to get it. And of course, even this is horrible and evil. How dare you post about a great deal on a game? Someone says, this is the game made by a racist, right? Maybe there shouldn't be an ad thread for it. Second thread promoting Kingdom Come Deliverance today. Is this series being astroturfed? Goodness me, so you've got the most left-leaning forum, like, on the internet. It's an absolute echo chamber, but now they're very concerned that there's some sort of right-wing conspiracy going on. What's happening here? Kingdom Come Deliverance, highly rated RPG, people are daring to discuss it positively. I could keep finding more of these, but I likely sound like a broken record with this already, but I'll say again, Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, fantastic game. These people are genuine loons. Despite what they say, if the sequel is great, no boycott of any kind from these idiots is going to matter at all. The boycotts only matter when it's for genuinely bad games, like Concord, Dustborn, and then in those cases, they're not even really boycotts. Everyone looks at them, they've got a set of eyes, and they just know this is going to be crap, it's not going to be fun. We know that your only focus was pushing propaganda onto people, and you got what you deserved. The game's totally flopped, no one cares about them now, they're not going to care about them tomorrow, certainly not in 10 years' time, unlike something such as Kingdom Come Deliverance, which will be a timeless game that people will enjoy for a long time. I hope it's the same for the sequel. I hope the developers deliver in February. Looking forward to it. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.